I woke up in my sister's bedroom, not knowing 11 days had passed. I saw a power of attorney on her nightstand with my name on it. My husband was calling 27 times, and she reached over and turned my phone face down. "There are things you don't know yet," she said. And I believed her. For about 30 seconds. Then I picked up my own phone. My hand is still shaking when I flip it over. The screen floods with light. Texts, voicemails, notifications stacked on top of each other like a collapsed building. But it's not the number of messages that stops me cold. It's the name attached to them. Not just Marcus, my husband. Also my doctor, my lawyer, and a number I don't recognize, labeled only as "Do not delete, important." My sister puts her hand over mine. "Please, just give me 5 minutes before you call anyone." I look at her face. This face I have known my entire life. The face that was in the front row at my wedding. The face that held me when our mother died. And I realize I am looking at a stranger. I say, "Show me what I signed." She hesitates. That half-second hesitation tells me everything and nothing at the same time. She reaches over and hands me the document, and I read it. Really read it. The power of attorney grants her medical and financial decision-making authority over me in the event I am incapacitated. It is dated 4 months ago. 4 months ago, when I was not sick. When there was no coma on the horizon. When I was just living my life, or so I thought. I don't remember this. I don't remember a lawyer's office, a notary seal, any of it. And yet, there is my signature, unmistakably mine, at the bottom of the page. I ask her how. She takes a long breath, and she tells me. 4 months ago, I had a procedure. Minor, outpatient, for a benign mass they found during a routine scan. My husband knew. I knew. I had a sedative beforehand, was loopy for hours afterward, and Marcus drove me home. She says she came to the clinic to be with me. She says that while Marcus went to pull the car around, I was sitting in recovery, still half under, and I was frightened. She says I asked her to protect me, that I said I was scared Marcus would make decisions for me that I wouldn't want, that I had been scared of him for a while. She says I told her things that day that I do not remember saying. And here is where my world tilts on its axis, because I look at her and I see she is not lying. My sister is many things. She is stubborn. She is dramatic. She is the kind of person who will fight a parking attendant over $2 just on principle. But she does not lie to me. She never has. So I ask her to tell me what I said. She tells me Marcus had been controlling my medication for months, adjusting dosages without telling me, that I'd suspected it, confided in her about strange episodes, confusion, memory gaps, days that felt hollow and wrong, that I'd done research and was terrified to confront him alone, that I'd asked her, in that recovery room, to get the paperwork in order, just in case something happened. And then, something happened. The coma was not random. The doctors found a cocktail of substances in my blood that should not have been there. Some of my own prescriptions, but in quantities I would never have been prescribed. The hospital flagged it. They opened an investigation. And Marcus, my husband, the man with 27 missed calls on my phone, he had pushed to have me transferred to a different facility, one further away, one where the records would start fresh. My sister checked me out instead. I sit with this for a long moment. The room is very quiet. Outside, I can hear birds, ordinary birds, doing ordinary bird things, completely indifferent to the fact that my life has just been handed back to me in pieces I don't know how to reassemble. I ask her why she didn't just tell the hospital, why she didn't call the police herself. She says she did. She says there is a detective. She says the reason she needed me here, awake, in her house, before I spoke to Marcus, was because the detective needs my testimony, my voluntary statement, and that if Marcus gets to me first, if he gets even a few minutes to shape my memory, to remind me of the version of our life he prefers, it could compromise everything. 27 missed calls. I set the phone down on the bed between us. I ask her one more question. I ask her if she is absolutely certain, because I am about to make a choice that will detonate my marriage, my life as I know it, my entire history with this man. And I need to know that she is not doing this out of jealousy or old grudges or some story she built up in her head. She reaches into her bedside drawer. She pulls out a folder. Inside are printed emails from Marcus to a friend of his, spanning 8 months. I read the first line of the third email, and I don't need to read the rest. I know what I have to do. I call the detective myself. I don't let my sister do it for me. I dial the number marked "Do Not Delete," and a woman answers on the second ring, calm, professional, clearly expecting my call. We speak for 40 minutes. I tell her everything I remember, everything I noticed but explained away. The brain does extraordinary things to protect a life it has invested in. I had explained away so much. Marcus is picked up for questioning that same afternoon.
I want to tell you, it felt like victory. It didn't.
It felt like grief. The specific kind that comes not from losing someone, but from realizing the person you lost never quite existed. I grieved a marriage. I grieved the version of myself who trusted the wrong person, and the version of myself who almost didn't survive it. But I was alive. I was in my sister's house, drinking terrible instant coffee she made me because she'd run out of the real kind, wrapped in a blanket that smelled like her laundry detergent. And she sat across from me with red eyes and said, "You scared me so much." And I said, "I know, I'm sorry." And she said, "Don't you dare apologize." The investigation takes months. There are hearings, there are lawyers, there are days I feel so exhausted by the machinery of justice that I can barely get out of bed. But I do get out of bed, every single day. Because here is what I learned in that 11-day silence I don't remember. The people who love you will do unreasonable things to keep you here. They will fight signatures and doctors and legal systems and visiting hours. They will sit beside you and hold your hand and cry and wait. My sister did not save my life by accident. She saved it on purpose with both hands, and she would do it again. And that, all of that, is something I will spend the rest of my life being grateful for. However long, however complicated, however rebuilt from the ground up that life turns out to be. It turns out to be worth it.